This is Mrs. Kumida Mayur from Engineering Mathematics Tutorials. I request everyone, please subscribe to my channel, watch videos, and to get notification, please press bell icon. In this session, I am going to start Engineering Mathematics 4 for the semester for students. So, you all know that in this semester, you are going to learn about complex analysis, probabilities, and statistical methods. In this session, let me start with complex analysis. First, let us look into the keywords. What are the topics we are going to study? The first topic is calculus of complex functions. In this particular topic, there are subtopics. The topics are review of functions of complex variables, limits, continuity, and differentiability. The second major topic is analytic functions. Here you are going to study about Cauchy-Riemann equation in both Cartesian and polar forms and consequences. And the third major concept is construction of analytic functions, Milne-Thomson methods and problems. So in this session, first let us focus on the first major topic called calculus of complex functions. Let us revise some basic concepts before we are going into the complex analysis. First, let us understand what you mean by complex number. So, a number of the form z is equal to x plus iy, where x and y are real numbers, and I equals square root of -1 or I square is equal to -1 is called a complex variable. In this, x is called real part of z, y is called imaginary part of z. This is the basic definition. I am just recapping since you have already learned this definition when you are in 10th standard. So if the number is in the form of x plus iy, where x and y are the real numbers and I is equal to square root of 1 or I square is equal to -1. This is the standard value. You all should remember this value. If so, we call this as a complex variable. So in z, the x is called the real part of z and y is called the imaginary part of z. Now, let us understand what you mean by complex analysis. Yes, let us understand what you mean by a function of a complex variable. If we learned the definition of complex variable, that is z is equal to x plus iy. Now let us understand what you mean by function of a complex variable. When w is equal to f of z is called the function of a complex variable z. This exactly you will able to understand when it comes to the implementation of problems, where w is said to be a single valued or many valued function of z. Since we all know that we have already learned that z is equal to x plus iy, isn't it? This is actually called, it is a Cartesian form. Even we can write this as r z is equal to r into e to the power I theta. So both gives the definition of a complex variable. So whereas if we consider w is equal to f of z, x and y are the two real numbers, we can write this as u of x comma y plus I of v of x comma y. So this exactly says about Cartesian form. Cartesian form, and omega is equal to f of z u of r comma theta plus iv of r comma theta, that defines polar form. Please, you should remember that whereas this part explains about the real part and this is an imaginary part. So we also learned I square is equal to -1, I is equal to square root of -1. Let us understand function of a complex variable by looking into an example. Let me consider f of z is equal to z square. If I consider this function, so we know that we have already learned that z is equal to u of xy plus I of v of xy. So here we can consider u plus iv. So z we have already know that it is nothing but x plus iy whole square. Let us do it for the Cartesian form first, then move towards polar form. So you can observe this is a standard algebraic identities. It is similar as a plus b whole square. You already learned this, I think, when you were in 7th standard. So the identity says that a square plus b square plus 2ab. So let me expand this u plus iv right now here as x square plus b square is I square y square plus 2 times of x square x into I y. Here you need to observe here. So this I have already explained you. So let me write this as x square. The value of I square, since I square is equal to -1, so let me write this as plus of -1 y square plus I of 2xy. So this further I can write this as x square minus y square plus I into 2xy. So this again I can write this as properly. Let me just put it in a braces plus I of 2xy. Now you could observe that this is in the form of u plus iv, where u is equal to x square minus y square and v is equal to 2xy. This is by considering the Cartesian form. Now let us also do it for the polar form. So when it comes to polar form, just give me a second. Let me continue with the same function of the complex variable f of z is equal to z square in polar form. So we know that if it is a polar form, we are going to consider z is equal to r into e to the power I theta. So this will become f of z is equal to r into e to the power I theta whole square. So this we can write it as r square e to the power 2 I theta. Here we must understand, we know that e to the power ix is equal to, this is one of the standard function. You know that it is cos x plus I sin x. This is a standard thing, you must know it. So that we can write this as r square. I'll just write as it is. So further you can write this e to the power I theta as cos 2 theta plus I sin 2 theta. So you can observe here we have received r square of cos 2 theta plus I sin 2 theta. So here I can write u equals r square cos 2 theta and v equals r square I sin 2 theta. Also you can write I into r square sin 2 theta. As we already know that, and this is the real part and this is the imaginary part of this. Now So I think you understood how we are going to consider a function of a complex variable, and I have explained this example in both Cartesian and polar form. We have learnt about a complex variable, and as well as we have also learnt about functions of a complex analysis. Now let us just focus on the basic definition of what is limit, what is continuity, and as well as what do you mean by differentiability. So when you come to the definition of limit, if f of z is a continued function defined in the neighborhood of a point z0 is said to have a limit when L as z tends to z0, if for every epsilon is greater than 0. This definitely you can able to understand once we start solving the sums. Then we can just say that limit z tends to z0 f of z is equal to L. So when it comes to continuity, as the name suggests that it's a continuity. So when we want to say if a complex valued function f of z is said to be continuous at z equal to z0, if and only if f of z0 exists, and this is one of the condition, and this is the another condition, limit z tends to z0 f of z is equal to f of z0, that is f of z minus f of z0 is less than epsilon when z minus z0 mod of z minus z0 is less than delta. So further let us understand the concept of differentiability. Yes, let us focus on the definition of differentiability. If we say f of z is a complex valued function, is said to be a differentiable at z is equal to z0 if the limit z tends to z0 f of z minus f of z0 divided by z minus z0 exists and it is unique. The limit when exists is called derivative of fz at z is equal to z0, and it is denoted by f dash of z0. Hence we can say that f dash of z0 is equal to limit del z tends to 0 f of z0 plus del z minus f of z0 divided by del z. So here we can able to understand the concept of limit, and as well as we understood the concept of continuity, and also we understood the concept of differentiability. Dear students, this video says about only the basic introduction of the first module. So in the next video you are going to learn the analytical functions and connected theorems such as Cauchy-Riemann what it is theorem in the form of Cartesian and as well as polar. So I request everyone, please wear mask, maintain social distancing, and entertain everybody to go for vaccination. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you all.